Yeah, but the thing is, I don't see Ethereum as competing with Bitcoin in the same way. Like, honestly, I don't. I do think there's a lot of things competing with Ethereum, and I do think that that Dogecoin is more inflationary than most countries. So why would you use that and to even have fun? Because is it fun to lose money, Mark? I don't know. Is it? Um, so, but Ethereum, Ben, you mentioned the high fees. Bitcoin's had high fees as well at really crucial moments, and we all talked about the second layer, and building on that. And there is a lot of work and a lot of really hard, great engineers working on Ethereum trying to solve that just the same with layer two. And what I'm seeing is that people are looking at layer two and going back. People that like were full on Bitcoin Cash people. But they're looking at layer two on Ethereum and going, oh, that makes sense now. And then coming back and going, Bitcoin BTC was right. Stick to the lower blocks and go with a second layer instead. And because now it makes sense that people are using Polygon Matic and some of these other layer two solutions on Bitcoin on Ethereum. So there's a lot of work and a lot of engineering, a lot of hard engineering, and really, you can't really do some of the things you want to do on Bitcoin because its attack surface is very narrow. It's to do one thing: be good money, be solid, rare money. And the Lightning Network allows it to be then also currency. So it's good money, it's good currency. That's all it needs to be, and forevermore. That's the wonderful thing. But really, when it comes to building complex contracts that aren't controlled by anybody but the person that holds the keys, that's where Ethereum comes in. And for the same reason, I wouldn't talk about any of the other stuff that's trying to compete with Ethereum, because every year, every bubble, people go, Ethereum's gas prices. Oh, we're the Ethereum killer, EOS and all the rest. And then the bubble pops, the thing goes down. At the end of it, there's Ethereum still. And so it has its place and it's doing something else. And I just want to put that out there because there are a lot of really hardworking people working on that protocol to do other stuff than base money is, and some would say that, yeah, but you can do base money on Ethereum too, but it's a very over-engineered version. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin and why it's so conservative, is that it just is doing that and it does it really, really securely and well.
Yeah, I was taking a cheap dig there at Ethereum, which is quite easy to do. I was taking a cheap dig at it.
Well, and I do agree with Josh. I don't think they don't really compare that well, but for whatever reason, the only category we have is cryptocurrencies, and we've put them both in there. And every time, what they're really competing for is market share of mentions on television, right? People are going to talk about Bitcoin or they're going to talk about Ethereum, depending on the story, sometimes both. And I think that's where the real competition is this popularity contest, which goes on forever. And we also have to keep an eye out because Ethereum has changed their structure recently. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but they are burning fees now. So they might not be so inflationary. They might actually even be deflationary, depending on how much Ethereum they're burning. So the idea of holding it is a little different now. The network's a little older. It's not vaporware anymore. But then, of course, if we'd bought it when it was vaporware, oh, well, that would have been great too. But let's move on to the exit question bonus issue. Surprise to our panelists, but I know they're ready for it because no one cares. Coinbase has stolen so many people's business strategies over the years, whether it was Cryptsy with the hundreds of altcoins or DeFi and lending and other exchanges with providing that liquidity so that you could have margin, and then now loaning. What now? OpenSea, the popular NFT platform, recently lost their man Open Source Nate or something like that because he was allegedly front running the NFT market. And now he works at Coinbase. Coinbase is launching a brand new NFT platform. They're not too late. They're just after Binance. They're just after OpenSea. They're just after Rarible and Foundation and Wax and a dozen other projects. But Coinbase is here to solve the problem. Dan, Eve, will Coinbase's latest attempt to copy someone else's business finally bring them happiness? Will Coinbase's NFT platform be a success?
Well, at one point they reached the number one spot for a while when the coin ticker was launched. So it did reach some popularity. I'm not sure how many people are using it now as an app, but they've got a big, wide user base. So they've definitely got the market share, right? The first step is getting people in through the doors. The second step is shilling them a product. So it's easy once you've got a huge market share to start to copy someone's project and oh, nice mug. To copy someone's project. And I think they've got the user base for it. Going back very quickly, because I like to trip back a bit, but so that Vitalik quote was actually, so that in 2014, so we said the Internet of Money should not cost 5 cents per transaction. It's kind of absurd. So although obviously Bitcoin transactions have gone up a little bit since then, I just checked a few seconds ago, and 144 Kwai would give you a transaction fee of $10.44, which is 208 times that 5 cents that he spoke of in 2014. So obviously, things inflate over time. Obviously, fees do a bit, but Bitcoin's still killing the fee structure there, I think, at the moment for straight money. Hard money sending.
I think it was just a really deep joke. Vitalik was being facetious. He should be like, the internet should not cost 5 cents a transaction. It should be more like $50 or $100. Josh Shigala, Coinbase and NFTs. Will this finally be the platform that satisfies Brian Armstrong, or will he be doing Bitcoin ATMs next?
This is typical of many platforms, and it's kind of sad for like Google and stuff do it as well. They just copy. Facebook does it. Twitter does it. We had the what is it, Clubhouse, and then Twitter just comes out with Twitter Spaces instead of investing in Clubhouse or like lifting up these entrepreneurs. They just outright compete with them. That's fair enough. It is what it is. But people will have their place, and the thing is I'm just not sure about the technology behind their NFT system. So the trouble with all NFT systems that I see right now is that it's super centralized. If OpenSea was to go down, you wouldn't see your images anymore. There are a couple that run on IPFS and stuff, which is pretty cool, but IPFS also needs a bit of work to become more popular, and this is the issue. And I'm guessing all images will be hosted by Coinbase then, so they are now an art dealer, and it's weird. Like eBay never really took on Christie's. They were their own thing, and Christie's you could say that they're competing, but Christie's was very specialized on high-end proper art and verifying it and doing their thing. And so I think it's kind of strange for Coinbase to just jump in and think that they're art specialists as well now. And this was something that OpenSea really focused on. They were there, and same with Wax. They focus more on the gaming side of things. Well, let's see what happens. It's a free market. Let the games begin.
I think eBay is another business model Coinbase could look at. Also, telecommunications. Why not become a phone company? Why not get your phone service through Coinbase? Nobody else is doing it. And it's a great point, Josh, that Coinbase will be hosting all the images. So when Coinbase goes down, like we know happens every time Bitcoin goes up, all your images will be down too. You won't even be able to right click and save your JPEGs. Ben, ARK, Coinbase and NFTs. It's like chocolate and milk. It's a match made in heaven. This is the last business model they'll ever have.
It's a good point on Christie's only supporting high-end artwork, such as, of course, Curio cards. Was it Christie's? It was Christie's, wasn't it? They were on.
Now also in Sotheby's as well.
Wow, that's incredible. So everyone's getting in the NFT game. Why wouldn't Coinbase get in the NFT game? And actually, I will say that a lot of people stick with the service which they're used to. So people who register with Coinbase and they didn't have a shitty experience, they'll just stick with it, and that'll be the trading platform they use. And actually, when I was a youngster, I had a few jobs working for a couple of local banks, and both of them during my induction said that, I think there's a statistic that someone's more likely to get divorced than leave their bank, aka customer service could be pretty shitty, and people generally stick with their bank just because it's a pain in the ass to move stuff, and it's a little confusing. You have to, in the case of an exchange, you have to then go through doing all the KYC stuff and whatever else, and so you stick with the service which you know. So there's all these Coinbase customers who haven't got exposure to NFTs because they don't trust something like those other places you said before, which I can't remember the names of because I have no idea about NFTs. And now they'll be able to buy NFTs and use NFTs. But it's an absolute cracker of a point that Coinbase does always go down every time the Bitcoin price breaks that all-time high. So they're going to have to stop that, because people then won't be able to see the pictures of whatever rare Pepes or whatever, or curated cards on Coinbase if that happens. So that would be a shame. But yeah, I think it's giving Coinbase customers a little bit of exposure to NFTs. Everyone else seems to be getting on it.